Good evening, students. Are you ready to start out with next paper? So as scheduled, here we are to solve the next sample solution paper, science. So as usual, I told you like section A will be having bio questions. So the first question starts. Okay, let's wait for a few more students to join. Soon everyone will join. We'll start out our solution part. I think screen is visible to you. So section A we are dealing with. Section A contains bio part. So here let's start with our solution. First question, photosynthesis is a process by which green plants prepare their own food. Which of the following are essential raw materials for this process? So very simple question you got, raw materials for photosynthesis. Correct answer is option number D. So I'm not dealing with all the options as you are very much clear with this topic. Carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. We need three constituents, carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. So water plant getting from the soil, carbon dioxide from air, sunlight from sun and chlorophyll green pigment which is already present in the plant. Now the second question, hormone regulates various functions. Hormone regulates various functions in human body. Which hormone is primarily responsible for development of secondary sexual character? So secondary sexual character in male, testosterone. So here estrogen and testosterone. Estrogen is a female reproductive organ, reproductive hormone, and testosterone is a male reproductive hormone. So here testosterone is responsible for development of secondary sexual characters. So let's have a little explanation. It can be long answer also. Testosterone produced in the testes is principal male sex hormone during puberty. It triggers the development of male secondary sexual characteristics. So here it helps in the development of secondary sexual characters like facial hair growth, deepening of the voice and increase muscles mass. So muscular mass also increases. Now coming to third question, organism reproduce either sexually or asexually. Which is the most significant difference between the two methods? So here sexual method and asexual method. Sexual method is very slow process compared to asexual is slow compared to sexual method. So what is the major difference in sexual and asexual reproduction? So asexual reproduction results in genetic variation. B1 is wrong. Asexual reproduction involves one parent while the sexual typically involves two parents. So option number C is the correct answer where variations are seen along with the like single parent in asexual reproduction, whereas there is involvement of two male and female parent in sexual reproduction. Now coming to fourth question, genetic, a single gene can exist in different variations or form. What is term for these alternative form of gene? So here what we call to alternative form of genes, that is allele. This question we are getting repeatedly. This is the third paper where we got the same question. Allele are the different versions of gene found in some locus, that is some positions on the chromosome. Chromosome has got certain parts where there is genetic material got deposited. For instance, the gene for pea plant height has two alleles, that is one capital T, one small t. Capital T represents tallness and small t represents dwarfness. Energy flow through an ecosystem from one tropic level to next tropic level. So here energy flow through an ecosystem one tropic level to next tropic level, which is considered the ultimate source of energy for nearly all food chain. So if you remember, ultimate source for all food chain is ultimate source for all food chain? Sun is the ultimate source. Now coming to next question. So fifth question got completed. Let's start with sixth one. So fifth will have little explanation also. So as this can be also a long question. So here the fifth one, solar energy is captured by producer through photosynthesis and converted into chemical energy. This chemical energy is then transferred through ecosystem as one organism eat other, forming the basis of almost all life. So from this chapter, you need to learn that 1% rule also. That is also one of the important question. Whatever the energy is transferred, only 1% of the, only 10% of that is available for the next generation. That's why the food chain is made up of only 2 to 3 food trophic levels. So when you will be learning, concentrate on important topics also. So here out of the environment chapter, that food chain one is important. Along with that, why the food chain is very small, made up of only 2 to 3 constituents. So learn with that, prepare that question also. And then flow of energy in flow of energy is unidirectional. Why the energy never return back to sun? So these are the few questions. All those are on the same page in NCERT. Once you can go through with that prior to having preparation. So now the next question, we are shifting to question number 6. Consider the following statements about cellular respiration. Aerobic respiration occurs in mitochondria and requires energy. Aerobic respiration occurs in mitochondria and require energy. Anaerobic respiration in human muscles produce ethanol and energy. Muscles, there is a production of lactic acid. No ethanol is produced. That is in yeast. Aerobic respiration yields a much higher amount of ATP than anaerobic respiration. In yesterday's paper, we discussed like aerobic respiration, there is high yield of energy, that is 38 ATP molecules of energy is generated. Now the next one, the final step in anaerobic respiration is breakdown of pyruvate into water and carbon dioxide. So which statements are correct? One and third one, first and third one is correct. So option number A is correct choice. As the final step of aerobic respiration is breakdown of pyruvate, that is the wrong one. The first step is pyruvate is breaking down. The next one, aerobic respiration is an oxygen dependent process in mitochondria that produces a large amount of energy. So statement 2 is incorrect. Anaerobic respiration, muscles produce lactic acid, already we discussed. So next, let's move with the next question. So here the seventh question. Different parts of flower are specialized for various roles in reproduction. What are primary function of sepal and petal? So what are the primary function of sepal and petal? So this was also there in the last paper. Sepals, they protect the flower when it is in bud condition, whereas petals, they helps in attraction. They helps in attracting the pollinators. And so the correct answer here, different parts of the flower are specialized for various roles in reproduction. What is the role of sepal and petal? So correct answer is B, that is protect the bud and attract pollinators. Sepal, it is protecting the bud and petals are attracting pollinator. So correct option is B. Now moving to the next question. Question number 8, assertion and reasoning. So already we discussed section A is related to bio part, and question number, here we are having MCQ up to 9. So 9 questions are there. They are MCQs, out of which 9th one and 8th one are assertion and reasoning type of questions. So here the first 8th question, first assertion reason 1, arteries are blood vessels with thick and elastic wall. So assertion is correct, as arteries have thick wall. In yesterday's paper we discussed arteries have to pump out the blood throughout the body. As the blood flows in arteries with high pressure, so their walls are thick. Now reason is given, the blood emerges from the heart under high pressure and flows through the arteries. So reason is also correct. Both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation. So here option number A, both are correct and R is correct explanation. Now let's move to the ninth one. Concentration of harmful non-biodegradable chemicals increase at higher trophic level of the food chain. If you recall back, this we call biological magnification. So what is biological magnification if it is asked in long answer? So you are going to write different food trophic level where the energy passes or the things passes from one trophic level to other. So in the same way, non-biodegradable waste accumulates at the high trophic level. So as it passes from one trophic level to other. If you take the example of like fish, if suppose more and more fertilizers or the pesticides are used in crop, they washed away and they get mixed in water. The fishes which are there in the water, aquatic organisms, they get more affected by this harmful chemicals, and then these chemicals from fish, they will enter into the other trophic levels. So those which are eating through the food chain, they start passing out from one level to other. So from fish, it will be eaten, it will pass out to the next trophic level, from the next trophic level. So in that sense, the highest trophic level, like human beings occupies the highest trophic level of the food chain, which is starting from the fish. So their accumulation of harmful pesticides will be more in human body. So thus we can say that high trophic level accumulates more chemicals, that is biological magnification. These chemicals are easily broken down and metabolized by organism at each trophic level. So here these are metabolized by each trophic level. So here correct answer. Now the reason is these chemicals are easily broken down and metabolized by organism at each trophic level. There is no relation of R. Even R is wrong. Chemicals cannot be metabolized. They cannot be decomposed or they cannot be made simple as they are non-biodegradable chemicals. So assertion is correct but reason is false. Option number C. Now here from question number 10th onwards, we are starting with question answers. In human heart, the wall of left ventricle is significantly thicker than the wall of the right ventricle. So most important question, you just point out that. So as in the beginning of the session, we like I told, like here we will be discussing out with the important questions. So out of the human heart, either difference between arteries and veins or why the walls of arteries are thicker or the left ventricle is thicker compared to right ventricle. So this kind of questions are very important, which going to be asked in your board exam. So here, why the wall of the left ventricle is thicker? If you recall back, left ventricle carries pure blood, oxygenated blood, and that blood has to be pumped out throughout the body, and blood is under high pressure. So for pumping, it need high pressure, thus the wall has to be thicker. So let's have the proper wording for this answer. So what you are going to write, like it has to pump out the blood throughout the body. So thus the blood is flowing here with high pressure, walls are thicker. Left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to all parts of the body from head to toe, which requires a great deal of pressure. The right ventricle only pumps deoxygenated blood from blood to the nearby lungs. Therefore, the left ventricle has thicker muscular wall to generate higher pressure needed for systemic circulation. So, here the wall of the left ventricle is thicker to have high pressure, to withstand high pressure. So, we completed 10th question. Now, let's start with 11th. We are having internal choice in question number 11. Question number 11. First one, differentiate between autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition by giving one key difference and one example of each. We need to write difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic nutrition is a process where organisms synthesize their own food from inorganic sources like carbon dioxide and water. So here autotrophic, green plants comes under this, where the organism synthesizes its own food. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition, where organism obtain pre-prepared food from the other organism because they cannot synthesize their own food. Heterotrophic organism, they depends on autotroph, they cannot synthesize their own food. Now the next question, we need to write example of each. Autotrophic, green plants, heterotrophic, human beings, and fungi. Fungi, the mode of nutrition, it is holozoic, saprophytic. Okay. Next one, what is lymph? State to measure functions of lymphatic system in human body. Many students skip this question. Out of circulatory system, lymph is also important topic, though it is not given very much in the textbook. Learn it properly. Lymph is a colorless fluid containing filtered blood plasma and white blood cells. So how this lymph is formed? During circulation, some of the extracellular liquid oozes out of the cell and they get settled in the extracellular part. So in between the cells, there is space. In that space, some of the liquid, extracellular fluid, it comes out and accumulates there. So that extracellular fluid is called lymph. So lymph has got all the properties similar to blood. The only exception, it is colorless. So let's read in detail about the lymph. It carries digested and absorbed fat from the intestine. It drains excess fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. So whatever extracellular fluid got accumulated, it drains it back into the blood. So again, it will add that to blood. And the lymphocytes within it helps in immunity. So here, as the blood helps in providing immunity, in the same way, lymphocytes, the cells of the lymph, they also provides immunity to the body. So I'm giving few minutes to you so that you can read this lymphatic system. Here the question was, what is lymph? So once again, see the question and read the answer. What is lymph? State to measure functions of the lymphatic system. So what is lymph and state to functions? Giving few minutes to you, please read this question. What is lymph and lymphatic system? Okay. Now let's move with the next question. We completed question number 11. Question number 12 related to the food chain. If a pesticide like DDT is sprayed on the field, just now in MCQ we discussed this question. Okay, there will be biological magnification. This pesticide will pass out through food chain and finally accumulate in human body. DDT is sprayed on the field, it enters the food chain. From grass, it will enter into goat, from goat to human body. In which organism will the concentration of this pesticides be highest? Concentration of this pesticides be highest in human beings. Name the phenomenon and explain why. So this phenomenon is called biological magnification. So underline the important topics which you need to memorize very perfectly. Biological magnification. Concentration of DDT will be highest in human beings. This phenomenon is called biological magnification. It occurs because the toxic chemical is not metabolized or excreted and get accumulated at top of the food chain. So here accumulated at each successive trophic level. Non-biodegradable waste get accumulated in each trophic level. As humans are at the top of the food chain, they accumulate highest in human beings. Now the next question, draw a diagram showing the location of major endocrine glands in human body and label the following. So here you need to draw thyroid gland and adrenal gland where they are present. So here, while drawing, you need not to make that complete human body as given in your textbook. So here the rough diagram was provided. You need to label it. So let's go through with the labelings. Pineal gland, it is present in brain just above the pituitary gland. Okay, here the pituitary gland is there. Pituitary gland is called master gland. That can be also one important question. Why pituitary gland is called master gland? Because it controls all other glands of the body. Now after pituitary and pineal gland, they are in brain. Then hypothalamus, that is also in brain only. Next, thyroid gland, the neck region. Thyroid gland secretes thyroxine, and parathyroid gland, both are nearby, thyroid gland and parathyroid. Then while coming down the neck part, there is thalamus. So these they never ask like where is the parathyroid and thalamus. Thyroid is the important one. Then adrenal gland, just above the kidney. Adrenal gland secretes adrenaline. Adrenaline is called stress, like emergency hormone. During emergency, adrenaline releases, which make the person either to fight or flight from the situation. Once the adrenaline is secreted, the person will either fight with the situation or he will escape from the situation. So in the kidney, just at the tip, adrenaline to be represented. Then pancreas. Pancreas secretes insulin, glucagon. In yesterday's paper, we discussed that both are feedback hormones, which brings the feedback mechanism. So what is feedback mechanism? Let's recall back. Insulin controls the blood glucose level. If once the glucose level decreases, brain will indicate glucagon to secrete so that the glucose level will increase. So as both of them are working in contradictory to each other, so we call them like feedback mechanism, hormones which are controlling feedback mechanism. So let's have the reading for the thyroid gland. It is located in the neck or the throat region. Adrenal gland located in at the top of each kidney. Pituitary gland, it is at the base of the brain. One function of the adrenal gland is to secrete adrenaline, which prepares the body for fight or flight. Already we discussed. So why how it is preparing for fight or flight? So as with the help of this hormone, either we fight with the situation or we escape from the situation. Now the next question, explain the mechanism of sex determination in human beings with the help of cross. Show why the statistical probability of baby being a boy or a girl is 50%. So most probably everyone has prepared this question, sex determination. So let's have the discussion. So this will be representing like cross one, Mendeleev's monohybrid cross. So here XX is representing male gamete and XX is representing female one and XY is representing male. In human female, it have 2 X chromosomes while the male have X and 1 Y chromosome. The sex of the child is determined by the chromosome inherited from the father. So how we can say that it is determined by the chromosome inherited from the father? Because if suppose the father is providing X, the female can provide only X. One of the from the zygote, one of the chromosome, either X1, XX, as the female is having only X, will be given by, or male, either he can provide X or he can provide Y. If the male is providing X, the developed baby will be XX combination, that is baby girl. If the male is providing Y chromosome, then it will be having XY composition, which is baby boy. So let's have the explanation. A female produces egg, all contains X chromosome. Male produces 2 types of sperms in equal proportion, half with X chromosome and half with Y. Again you are late today. So nowadays you are very irregular. It's 5 now. Can you hear me? Almost we completed bio paper today also. How it can be notification? Abhi kaise aayega? Okay, let it be. So we completed almost 14 questions. Sperm contains Y chromosome, and here the sperm containing X chromosome fertilizes with the egg. the zygote will have XX and will develop into a girl. If the sperm containing Y chromosome will fertilize with the egg, then they will be having the combination of XY type of zygote, which will be baby boy. Since the father produces both the type of sperms in equal number, there is 50% probability for either outcome. That is 50% probability for either baby girl or baby boy. So, sex determination question is also important. In sex determination question, you can prepare one more, like how the sex determination is relating to environmental factors. In human beings, it is not related to the environmental factors, but in turtle, during high temperature, the fertilized egg develops into male, and then lizard, all those examples are there. Once you go through with those also, where they can ask for the environmental deciding factors. Now, next 15th question, a person ate a piece. See, this kind of question we are frequently getting in the paper from the human digestive system. A person ate a piece of buttered toast. Refer to the figure in the human alimentary canal to the question. So, he has written butter means fat. Now, the butter is rich in fat. Explain the role of organ labeled N. So, N, it is stomach. Now, labeled N, okay, N1 is liver and its secretion in the digestion of the fat. So, here the how liver helps in the digestion of fat. Liver secretes bile juice which helps in emulsification of the fat. So, what is emulsification? Emulsification, the fat molecules will get divided into small pieces. Big globules will divide into small pieces. So, that is called emulsification. Now, they are asking how the liver helps in the digestion of fat. Liver secretes bile juice which is stored in gallbladder. Then it is secreted via common duct to the common duct which helps in emulsification of fat. Now, the question number B, the toast is rich in carbohydrate. Where does the digestion starts? So, they gave in the two different way, like the toast, it is roasted with the butter. So, if it is roasted with the butter, then digestion will start in mouth as it is carbohydrate. Okay, which enzyme will help in the enzyme from the gland labeled as a part of N, pancreas, will help in further digestion in the small intestine. Carbohydrate first will get converted into maltose. Then maltose get digested by pancreas will secrete which hormones? Is there anyone who can answer? Pancreas secretes which which enzymes? Enzymes secreted by pancreas. Pancreas secrete pancreatic juice which contains pancreatic amylase, trypsin and lipase. So, the carbohydrate get digested half by, no, lipase, here they are asking about toast and digestion of carbohydrate related. So, once you go through with the question number B, it is that toast is rich in carbohydrate. It is containing carbohydrate. Okay, trypsin. Trypsin, trypsin, not I. Lipase helps in the digestion of fat. Emulsified fat will get digested by the lipase. So, all these secretion, okay, all these secretions, they will get in small intestine. First, the digestion is taking place in the stomach. Stomach is having HCl, mucous membrane and pepsin. So, pepsin helps in the digestion of protein to peptons. Then from the stomach, the digested food will pass out to small intestine and through common duct, it gets the secretion from gallbladder, secretion from the pancreas and gallbladder. So, there the digestion will get complete, that is emulsification of the fat, and finally emulsified fat will get digested by lipase to fatty acid and glycerol, and trypsin helps in the digestion of peptones to amino acid, that is final digestion of the protein. So, we completed. Explain the process of peristalsis and its role in the part labeled N, esophagus. Okay, esophagus, how the peristalsis is taking place. Peristalsis, it is a rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the esophagus. So when the food passes through the esophagus or the food pipe, there is rhythmic contraction and relaxation. As a result, the food will pass further. Okay, that is called peristalsis movement. So once I'll be reading answer, follow out them. So questions already we discussed. Okay, here the first answer, liver produces bile juice which is stored in gallbladder. Bile does not contain any digestive enzyme, but it plays a crucial role in fat digestion by emulsification. It breaks down large fat globules into small one. So while writing answer, you need to use this word emulsification. It's a particular word, you need to write it. It helps in emulsification of the fat. That is, making the larger globules to change into smaller one. Increasing the surface area for enzyme lipase to act upon then effectively. So once the fat is getting emulsified, means when it is breaking down into small piece, here the chemistry is played over here. So when the particle size is smaller, its rate of reaction increases because the surface area increases. So the fat got emulsified and making the lipase to act on. The next question was related to carbohydrate. Carbohydrate in the toast starts digesting in the mouth by salivary amylase. In the small intestine, the pancreas secretes pancreatic juice which contains pancreatic amylase. So both are amylase. How you can remember? First one is salivary amylase, second one is pancreatic amylase. Both helps in digestion of carbohydrate. The pancreas, then the enzyme further break down the remaining starch into simpler sugar like maltose. So here the starting one like salivary amylase will convert it into simple sugar maltose. Then pancreatic amylase will convert it into glucose. That is final digestion. So make little changes in the last sentence. The next one, peristalsis. What is peristalsis? Is a rhythmic wave-like contraction and relaxation. Okay. So contraction and relaxation. Rhythmic contraction and relaxation is taking place in the alimentary canal. In the esophagus, this muscular movement helps to push the food down from mouth to stomach. So because of this peristaltic movement, food is further pushed down. Food will pass out down to stomach, even against the gravity. So you need not to write this against gravity, only up to that is sufficient. If you concentrate little bit, you can score easily above 70. Science question answers are very simple. Bio part is much more simple. Many selective questions are there. Once if you will follow, you can get easily. Don't worry that you got 28 marks. I don't feel like you are saying truth. Okay. Still time is there where you can complete. Moreover, the CBSE pattern is such a way where the students will be getting many days to prepare for particular subject. Gaps are more, so where you can complete the whole syllabus. Okay, if it is true, just to follow out the things. Questions are simple. Try to, if you're not feeling like to read the book, just you go on hearing the videos, like whatever the answers are told, you can memorize them easily. And definitely you will be scoring more than 70 out of 80. And rest the school will be providing 20 on 20. So score can be very nice. Okay, now the next one. What is male and female gamete in flowering plant? So this is also the repeated question. In previous paper also we got this question. What is male and female male and female gamete in flowering plant? And where are they produced? Male gamete is pollen grain, produced in anther. So what is male gamete? Male gamete is pollen grain, it is produced in anther, and female gamete is egg or ovum, which is produced in ovule inside the ovary. Inside the ovary, inside the ovary in flowering plant, ovule develops. Ovule is the female gamete, and in the pollen grain, it produces anther, which is male gamete. So anther and filament are the parts, and then it produces pollen grains. Next, where are they produced? We completed. Differentiate between unisexual and bisexual flowers. So this is also a very important question. What is unisexual and bisexual flower? So the flower which contains both male and female part is bisexual flower, and which contains only the single either male part or female part, we call it as unisexual flower. Unisexual flower contains either the male or the female part. Male part is stamen and female part is carpel. Example, papaya. It is a unisexual flower. Papaya is unisexual flower. Whereas bisexual flower, which contains both male and female part, hibiscus is bisexual flower. Very important question. Repeat it properly. Unisexual flower, papaya, bisexual flower, hibiscus. Next question, cross pollination brings genetic material from two different plants. So cross pollination from two different plants, genetic materials are exchanged. If you recall back in yesterday's paper, we were having self pollination. Self pollination when the there is a transfer of pollen grains from within the same flower, we call it as self pollination. When it transfers from one flower to the other of the same species, we call it as cross pollination. So there is genetic variation from two different plants, leading to greater genetic variation in the offsprings. This increases the species chances of survival by helping it adapt to environmental change. Okay, question. Okay, without question I read the answer. So let me go through with the question. I once again will be having the question repetition here. Why it is advantageous for the plant to be cross pollinated? So why it is important to have cross pollination? Because the cross pollination brings variations. So if you write that much, that's also sufficient. Cross pollination leads to variation, and there is more chances of survival by adapting to the environmental change. Next. Next question is define puberty. List two changes observed in the girl and two in the boys during this time. So what are the two changes we find in girls and boys during this time? What is puberty? So puberty is a period. So this already you had in 7th standard also. Puberty is a period during which the adolescent body changes, undergoes changes leading to reproductive maturity. So what is puberty? When there is reproductive maturity. So what changes we find in girls and boys? So here, girls, there is onset of menstruation. So girl starts menstruation cycle, and development of the breast, changes in the boy, growth of facial hair and voice becomes deeper. In the previous section also we were having the same question. Voice deepens and development of the facial hair. So this we completed with the okay, one more question. Two more questions are there, then our bio part will get over. What is the function of the testes and ovaries in the human reproductive system? Testes produces male gamete and hormone testosterone, and then sperms and testosterone are secreted by the testes, and the ovaries, they produce ovum or the female egg and female reproductive hormones like estrogen, progesterone, apart from producing gametes. Okay, apart from producing gametes is given, so you need to write about hormones. Name two barrier methods of contraception. So this also we had last paper. Okay, contraception, any two barrier methods. Either you can write mechanical method or chemical method. So the question is barrier methods are condom and diaphragm. Next one, besides producing gametes, testes produces hormone testosterone and ovaries produces hormone estrogen and progesterone. So this is the completed bio part. Let's start with section B. So if you recall back in yesterday's paper also we were having the same pattern where the first question we are starting with balancing. Okay, so here analyze the following equation and which statement correctly identifies the redox reaction. So what is redox reaction? Where oxidation and reduction are taking place simultaneously. Vivek, are you there? Vivek, are you there? Vivek. Okay. So here copper sulfate reacts with iron and it forms ferrous sulfate plus copper. The blue color of the copper sulfate fades and FeSO4 is produced. And next one, CaCO3, when it is heated, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide is produced. So first one, it's given both the redox reactions, P is 1 and Q is 1. So after balancing, they are writing that both are 1 and then both are redox reaction. So what is redox reaction? Where oxidation and reduction both are taking place. Means there will be removal of oxygen, or the next one, one will get oxidized, other will get reduced. If you see equation number 2, there the copper calcium carbonate is getting converted into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So only there is decomposition taking place. Oxygen is getting removed from the main constituent. Whereas in the upper one, copper sulfate is losing its oxygen to form copper, and then iron is gaining oxygen to form ferrous sulfate. So one is gaining and other is losing. So there both the processes are taking place. So there it is oxidation and reduction reaction. So it is a redox type of reaction. So our correct answer is option number B, only equation 1 is redox reaction. Clear? Redox reaction can be calculated either by the gain or loss of oxygen or by electron gain. Now coming to the next question, 18th one. Most non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. Okay, most of the non-metal oxides are acidic in nature, but some are neutral. Which of the following are neutral? Carbon monoxide and water. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वाला समझा दीजिए. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वाला मतलब अच्छा ऊपर वाला, ठीक है. ऊपर वाले में से देखो इलेक्ट्रॉन, हाँ इलेक्ट्रॉन वाले में क्या हो रहा है, अगर हम देखें यहाँ पे तो इक्वेशन 1 जो है उसमें द डिस्प्लेसमेंट रिएक्शन वेयर Fe इज ऑक्सीडाइज्ड, अभी वहाँ से Fe एक एटॉमिक फॉर्म में है, वहाँ से वो मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्म में चेंज हो रहा है. तो Fe का जो अगर हम देखें, जब भी कोई वो अगर एटम के फॉर्म में होता है तो उसका एटॉमिक स्टेट 0, मतलब उसका ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट 0 है. 0 से वो चेंज होके FeSO4 जब बना तो उसका ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट 2 पे आ गया. SO4 का वैलेंसी 2 होता है, सो वी विल बी एक्सचेंजिंग दैट. तो वहाँ पे उसका वैलेंसी मतलब उसका ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट +2 पे चला गया. तो जब भी ऐसा ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट में हमारा चेंज आता है, इंक्रीज होता है, वी कॉल इट एज ऑक्सीडेशन. क्लियर? वैसे ही कॉपर सल्फेट को अगर हम देखें तो कॉपर सल्फेट पहले वहाँ पे कंपाउंड के फॉर्म में है, तो उसका ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट क्या हुआ, SO4 का वैलेंसी 2 है, तो वो कॉपर पे हो गया, तो दैट इज़ +2 से वो कॉपर में चेंज हुआ, तो ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट 0 पे पहुँच गया. Fe जो है 0 पे था, जब भी वो कोई एलिमेंटल फॉर्म में होता है मतलब उसका ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट 0 है. वहाँ से अगर वो कंपाउंड में जा रहा है मतलब उसका ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट चेंज हो गया. ठीक है, तो यहाँ से आयरन का ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट चेंज हुआ है, इंक्रीज हुआ, और वहाँ से कॉपर का डिक्रीज हुआ, वो 0 पे पहुँच गया. जब डिक्रीज हो रहा है दैट इज गेटिंग रिड्यूस्ड, जहाँ पे इंक्रीज हो रहा है दैट इज गेटिंग इंक्रीज ऑक्सीडाइज्ड. सो एज ऑक्सीडेशन एंड रिडक्शन बोथ आर टेकिंग प्लेस, सो वी कॉल इट एज redox reaction. Is it clear now? हाँ, okay. Now the next question, which one is neutral oxide? So here carbon monoxide is neutral oxide. Rest of all, SO2, sulfuric acid, so it is acidic oxide. CO2, carbonic acid, it is oxidic oxide. Then P2O5, phosphoric acid, so that is also like acidic oxide. Carbon monoxide is neutral oxide. It does not react with either acid or base. Sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide and phosphorus pentoxide all are acidic because they forms acid. Okay, the next question now. This was 18th one. So let's start with 19th question. 19th student perform experiment with the 4 unknown metals A, B, C, D. The observations are as follows. Metal A displaces metal B from its salt solution. A displaces B. So that means A is highly reactive, A is more reactive than B. B displaces metal C. So B is more reactive than C. C displaces D from its salt solution. So C is more reactive than D. Based on this result, what is the correct order of decreasing reactivity? Decreasing reactivity. Okay. So here we need to write high reactive first. So A is the highest one as it displaced B. B is displacing C. So next comes B, then next comes C and D in the last. So option number B is the correct answer. Now moving to next question. 21. Curry stains on white cloth is yellow in color. Curry stains on white cloth is yellow in color when soap is scrubbed on it. So here curry, it is reacting with soap. So soap is basic in nature and curry contains turmeric. So turmeric changes to responds to base. Stain turns reddish brown. What is the nature of the soap and why does the color change? So here first one, soap is acidic, it's wrong. Soap is neutral, that's also wrong. Soap is basic, correct. Again it is given acidic. So option C is the correct one. Soap is basic in nature. Turmeric in the curry acts like a natural indicator. So turmeric is a natural indicator. You wrote B. B is wrong option. Okay, Vivek. For what you, for which one? Okay, maybe reactivity series one you have given B. Now we started with 20th question where we are discussing about the turmeric. Turmeric is a natural indicator. Okay, let's have the explanation. This is also a very interesting one. Curry contains turmeric, which is natural indicator. Acid base indicator. It is yellow in color in neutral or acidic condition. It is yellow in color in neutral and acidic condition, but it turns to reddish brown. You might have seen like when if suppose some turmeric is there in the white handkerchief or white cloth, if you apply soap to that, soon it will get turned to red, and after drying it in the sun, the cloth will become clear without any turmeric. That is indicator. So turmeric is a natural indicator which turns reddish brown or reddish in base. Next question. A student takes 10 ml of hydrochloric acid solution, pH 2. pH of hydrochloric solution is 2 in a beaker and adds 90 ml of distilled water. What will be the effect on pH of final solution? See here, whenever they will ask about pH, don't get confused like after adding water. The pH of acid will decrease, acid will become dilute, or base will become like base we are adding water, so it will become much more stronger. Whenever we add water to either acid or base, in both the cases it will get dilute. So concentration of OH will decrease in case of base and concentration of H plus will decrease in case of acid. Both we need to write, it will get decrease. So what will be the effect on pH of final solution? So pH is 2. It will become dilute, so it will increase. It will move from 2 to more. Okay, 2 means it is an acidic condition. So when we dilute it, pH will increase. So here the pH will increase. Diluting an acid with water, the concentration of H plus ion will decrease since the pH is negative logarithm of H plus. Negative logarithm means if the pH is increasing means acid is becoming dilute. Now we are moving to 22nd question. A student mixes a solution of dilute hydrochloric acid with solution of sodium hydroxide. Hydrochloric acid with sodium hydroxide. HCl with NaOH. Neutralization will take place. Which of the following correctly represents the product? So HCl plus NaOH, it will form NaCl plus water. So sodium chloride and water is produced. Option number D. Next question, 23rd. A pale yellow powder, silver bromide, is kept in china dish in the open. So here silver bromide, in presence of sunlight, silver bromide will undergo color change. So this change is an example of So here in presence of light it is taking place. So light is represented by the word photo. So photolytic decomposition. Silver bromide is getting decomposed. Okay, silver bromide is getting decomposed, split into silver and bromide. Okay, silver and bromine. So here the decomposition, splitting is taking place in presence of light. So we call it as photolytic. Lytic means splitting, decomposition in presence of light. So it is photodecomposition. Now assertion reason. Covalent compounds like methane and ethanol generally have low melting and boiling point. So it's true. Why the covalent compounds have low melting point? Because they're formed by sharing of electrons. But in ionic compound, there is exchange of electrons. So the bond is stronger. Reason, intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules of covalent compound are very weak. So both are true because they are formed by sharing of electrons. So they are having weak intermolecular attraction. So correct answer is A, where assertion and reason both are true, and reason is the correct explanation for assertion. Now the next question. So if you recall back in yesterday's paper, we discussed like the next question we are getting from metals and non-metal. Okay, so here why are metal like gold and platinum, which are described as noble metal? So why they are called noble metal? Because they doesn't have any reactivity. They are low reactive, they are noble metal, they does not react, they don't form any oxides. Exceptionally suitable for making jewelry. So as they are noble metal, so they are used for jewelry making. Give a reason based on their chemical property. Gold and platinum are exceptionally suitable for jewelry because they are very unreactive. They does not react with oxygen. They does not oxidized. They does not get oxidized. Okay. So there is no change in color. Why we make jewelries out of that? Because there is no decolorization. They don't become dark, black in color. So this means they do not corrode or tarnish. Tarnish means change in color. So as in the silver article, you might have noticed like your mothers are wearing payal. After some days they become dark. As silver react with sulfur present in the air and they get tarnish. There is change in color. So here for tarnishing you need to remember three gases. Copper react with carbon dioxide to get tarnish, and then silver will react with sulfur, iron will react with oxygen. And gold and platinum, they do not tarnish, and when exposed to air and moisture, allowing them to maintain their natural shine. So they are always lustrous. They'll be having shine for very long time. That's why they are preferred as jewelry making material. Next one, sodium is a metal and it is stored in kerosene and can be easily cut with the knife. Why does this what does this indicate about the physical hardness and chemical reactivity of the sodium? Sodium is highly reactive, okay, but it is soft in nature, easily cut with knife, sodium and potassium. As it is high reactive, so why silver is also used? Silver is used because compared to the other metals, it is not tarnishing so soon. Like if pile and all are made up of iron, they will become very black in color or they get rusted. Here no rusting is done, only tarnishing is done. Okay, only it get color change. And if you wash it, that deposition which got developed, it will remove. Even anodizing, if you remember, anodizing is also a method where the aluminium is reacting with oxygen. Okay, what is anodizing? When we purchase any aluminium utensils, in the beginning, they will be very bright. They will shine like silver. But after certain days of use, they become little dark. That is, aluminium is reacting with oxygen and it is forming a layer of aluminium oxide. So once this layer is formed, it will prevent the further contact of aluminium with the oxygen. So no more aluminium will come in contact with oxygen. Thus no more oxidation will take place. So that process we called anodizing. Okay, no more darkening will be there. It will get certain dark texture and then it will stop. And the same way silver is also reacting with sulfur, and after development of certain darkness it will stop, which we can clear out by cleaning. Okay, coming back to our topic here, we were discussing about the sodium. Sodium is high reactive metal. So as it is highly reactive, soon it will come in contact with oxygen, it will catch fire. To prevent it, it is stored in kerosene. So let's discuss with the answer here. Physical hardness, it is a very soft metal, unlike most other metals which are hard, and chemical property, it is highly reactive and readily react with oxygen and moisture in the air. That is why it is kept in kerosene. Okay, we completed with this question. Now the next question. Here we got choice in question number 26. The highly hexothermic reaction between aluminium powder and iron 3 oxide. Very important question. Just you mark it. Star mark in your textbook also, thermite reaction. Very, very important for your board exams. Highly hexothermic reaction between aluminium powder and iron oxide is used for welding purpose on site. Give a common name for this reaction. Okay, this is thermite reaction, and where it is used? For welding rail lines. If you recall back your metals and non-metals chapter, there you come across. So here, so let's have the answer for this. And the third question, explain why the product of this reaction is useful for welding. Okay, so moving to the answer now. Common name for the reaction is thermite reaction. Okay, write down this answer, those who are watching the video. Very important question for your board exam. Common name for the reaction is thermite reaction. Fe2O3 will react with aluminium to form Fe plus Al2O3 plus heat. The reaction is extremely hexothermic. Lot of heat is produced, releasing a large amount of heat that melt the iron produced. So here in the reaction you can see Fe is produced. So heat will make the iron to melt. Thus it is used in welding. This molten iron can be poured between broken iron piece like railway track to weld them together upon solidification. So when it will solidify, it will complete the welding. It will join the railway lines. Fe2O3 plus aluminium will form Fe plus Al2O3 plus heat is generated. Now the next question. Okay, ionic compounds. So let's read the question once. Ionic compound exhibit a unique set of physical properties due to the nature of the ionic bond. So first question, explain why ionic compounds are generally hard. So already we discussed in the previous MCQ. When we see the covalent compounds, they are formed by sharing of electrons, so they are weaker. Easily they can be broken out or they can be melted. Coming to the ionic compound, they are made by strong ionic bond, that is strong exchange of ions. So the bond is stronger, that's why they have high melting point and boiling point. High energy is needed to overcome or to break out the bond. Why do ionic compound conduct electricity? So ionic compound, when they dissolve in water, they split into ions. So thus they conduct electricity in molten form. Are ionic compounds typically soluble in an organic compound? So here we are having 4 property for ionic compound. Let's recall faster. The first one, the solid. Then the second one, they dissolve in polar solvent like water. That does not dissolve in non-polar solvents like kerosene or kerosene, phenol. All those are non-polar solvents, and or organic solvents that does not dissolve. The next one, they are good conductor of electricity only in the molten state, but in solid state they are bad conductor. And the fourth point, they have high melting and boiling point. The reason they will ask very often, because high energy is needed to overcome the strong ionic bond. So let's discuss with the answer now. The first question was, ionic compound have high melting point because they consist of strong crystal lattice held together by very strong electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged ion. Ionic compounds are made up of oppositely charged non-polar solvent, co-organic कंपाउंड्स बोल सकते हैं? अच्छा, ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स हाँ बोल सकते हो, नॉन पोलर सॉल्वेंट। पोलर सॉल्वेंट मतलब है बस वाटर एक, ठीक है, जिसमें पोलैरिटी डेवलप हो रहा है। पोलैरिटी मतलब जब बॉन्ड हमारा शेयरिंग से बनता है तो जो हाईली इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एलिमेंट होता है, सारे बॉन्डेड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स उसकी तरफ चले जाते हैं बाय क्रिएटिंग पार्शियल नेगेटिव चार्ज ऑन दैट एंड ऑन अदर कंपाउंड पार्शियल पॉजिटिव चार्ज। सो सच काइंड ऑफ कंपाउंड्स आर कॉल्ड पोलर कोवेलेंट कंपाउंड्स। ओके, वाटर इज अ पोलर सॉल्वेंट, क्योंकि अभी वाटर कैसे बना हुआ है, एक हाइड्रोजन और 2 ऑक्सीजन से बना है। ऑक्सीजन इज हाईली इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव, तो सारे बॉन्डेड पेयर को वो अपनी तरफ पुल करता है, जिसके कारण ऑक्सीजन के ऊपर पार्शियल नेगेटिव चार्ज डेवलप होता है और हाइड्रोजन के ऊपर पार्शियल पॉजिटिव चार्ज डेवलप होता है। सो इस तरह से जो चार्ज डेवलपमेंट हुआ है ड्यू टू वेरिएशन दैट वी कॉल पोलर, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे तुम ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स लिख सकते हो, ठीक है, पोलर सॉल्वेंट्स एंड ऑर्गेनिक सॉल्वेंट्स। अभी नेक्स्ट हो गया आयनिक कंपाउंड, लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ थर्मल एनर्जी, सो लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ हीट इज नीडेड टू ओवरकम द फोर्सेस। नेक्स्ट, इन सॉलिड स्टेट द आयंस आर, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, ये प्रॉपर्टी को तुमको अच्छी तरह से पढ़ना है, फ्रीक्वेंटली वी आर गेटिंग इन एवरी क्वेश्चन पेपर। ओके, नेक्स्ट वन, सॉलिड स्टेट द आयन आर हेल्ड in fixed position in a crystal lattice and are not free to move. In molten state, when they dissolve in water, the ion become free. So you can write little simpler way. In the molten state, the ions become free, so easily they can conduct electricity in ionic form as the ions move to opposite electrodes. Next, no ionic compound are generally insoluble in kerosene. This is because the non-polar molecules of organic solvent like kerosene cannot overcome the strong electrostatic force holding the ion together in ionic compound. So kerosene, so why the this ionic compounds does not dissolve in kerosene? Non-polar molecules of organic solvent. Kerosene is an organic solvent. It contains non-polar molecules which cannot break the electrostatic force. So as the organic compounds cannot break the strong bond between the ionic compound, so they does not dissolve in organic compounds. क्रिस्टल लैटिसेस मतलब होता है कि जब भी अगर हम देखें ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स, ये आयनिक कंपाउंड्स को, तो इनका जो स्ट्रक्चर होता है एक पर्टिकुलर केज लाइक स्ट्रक्चर होता है। जैसे तुमने अपने इसमें देखा है कार्बन कंपाउंड्स में कि डायमंड का स्ट्रक्चर कैसे हो रहा है या ग्रेफाइट का स्ट्रक्चर कैसे हो रहा है। सो व्हेन दे फॉर्म सम crystal like structure, some that we call lattices. Lattices means some electronic arrangement will be there, like tetrahedral arrangement, octagonal arrangement. So all these you will learn in 11th standard. So all the structure categories will be given there. Okay, so depending on the structures, they get particular shape or the particular characteristics. Okay, so that we call lattices. Okay, this we completed. Now the next question, 27th. So this is a displacement question, displacement reaction. A student places a clean iron nail in test tube containing a blue solution of copper sulfate. In another test tube, she places a copper wire in freshly prepared pale green solution. Freshly prepared pale green solution means it is ferrous sulfate. Okay, and the first one copper sulfate. So copper sulfate solution will fade, whereas there is no change in the second one, as copper is less reactive than iron. Iron will displace copper from copper sulfate, but copper cannot displace iron from iron sulfate reaction, iron sulfate chemical. Okay, so now coming to the question, 27th one. So the first question, what change would she observe in the first test tube containing the iron nail after 30 minutes? So first test tube, it is copper sulfate. What will happen in the first test tube? Blue color of the solution will fade and there is formation of ferrous sulfate. Very good. FeSO4 will form. And there is deposition of copper on the iron nail. Next, write a balanced chemical equation for the chemical reaction that occurred in the first test tube. Fe plus CuSO4, FeSO4 plus Cu. Next, would she observe any change in the second test tube? We'll say that no, because copper is less reactive than iron. So no, she would not observe any change in the second test tube. According to the reactivity series, copper is less reactive than iron, so copper cannot displace iron from salt solution. So this we completed. Okay, now coming to the next question. Okay, next one is related to plaster of Paris. Name the gas is used. Okay, where is the question? Okay, here the question is attempt either the main question or the option. A white chemical compound P has a formula CaSO4 dot half H2O. So most probably everyone are ready. दोनों के क्रिस्टल में कितने मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ वाटर होते हैं? ओके, FeSO4 डॉट 7H2O. फेरस सल्फेट में 7 वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स होता है, वाटर ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइजेशन, जबकि कॉपर सल्फेट में 5 होता है, CuSO4 5H2O. ठीक है, तुम लोगों के सिलेबस में 3 क्रिस्टल्स हैं, एक कॉपर सल्फेट का है CuSO4 5H2O, FeSO4 7H2O, और थर्ड हमारा वॉशिंग सोडा, उसमें 10 मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ वाटर डॉट 10H2O. ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. देखो CaSO4 डॉट हाफ H2O, ये वाला भी एक सिलेबस में है. जिप्सम CaSO4 डॉट 2H2O, 2 मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ वाटर ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइजेशन इज देयर. और यहाँ पे हमारा प्लास्टर ऑफ पेरिस में हाफ मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ वाटर ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइजेशन is prepared by careful heating of another chemical compound, gypsum. This powder P is widely used in hospitals for making decorative items. ठीक है, अभी हम लोगों को पी का क्या यूज़ होता है? एक तो फ्रैक्चर के समय पे यूज़ होता है, और नेक्स्ट डेकोरेटिव आइटम्स या फिर हाउस सीलिंग बनाने के लिए सब में. आइडेंटिफाई द कंपाउंड P एंड राइट इट्स कॉमन नेम. देन राइट अ बैलेंस्ड केमिकल इक्वेशन, कैसे वो जिप्सम से बन रहा है, एंड एक्सप्लेन वाई P मस्ट स्टोर्ड इन मॉइस्ट कंटेनिंग वाटर प्रूफ कंटेनर. ठीक है, मॉइस्चर प्रूफ कंटेनर. क्यों? अगर हम P को, प्लास्टर ऑफ पेरिस को अगर हम मॉइस्चर प्रूफ कंटेनर में नहीं स्टोर करेंगे तो इट विल रिएक्ट विथ 1.5 मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ वाटर एंड अगेन इट विल सेट बैक एज जिप्सम. ठीक है, जिप्सम से प्लास्टर ऑफ पेरिस बन रहा है. जब CaSO4 डॉट 2H2O, जिप्सम को हम 300 केल्विन या फिर 100 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड पे हीट करते हैं, कंट्रोल्ड हीटिंग, केयरफुली हीट करना है हमको, सिर्फ 1.5 मॉलिक्यूल निकालना है वहाँ से वाटर का, तो वो बन जाएगा CaSO4 डॉट हाफ H2O प्लस 1.5 मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ वाटर. ठीक है, जिप्सम फॉर्म हो जाएगा. हाँ ठीक है, जिप्सम हो जाएगा. वेरी गुड. तो अब यहाँ पे हमारा ये वाला क्वेश्चन ऑलरेडी तुम लोगों को आ रहा है. हाँ चलो अभी आंसर एक बार फटाफट देख लें. केमिकल नेम ऑफ कंपाउंड P इज कैल्शियम सल्फेट हेमीहाइड्रेट. ठीक है, उसका केमिकल नेम कैल्शियम सल्फेट हेमीहाइड्रेट, क्योंकि हाफ मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ वाटर है, CaSO4 हाफ H2O, सो हाफ वी कॉल हेमीहाइड्रेट, हाइड्रेट फॉर वाटर, कैल्शियम सल्फेट हेमीहाइड्रेट. कॉमन नेम इज प्लास्टर ऑफ पेरिस. नेक्स्ट इज इक्वेशन फॉर प्रिपरेशन. CaSO4 डॉट हाफ H2O, 373 Kelvin or 100 degree centigrade. It will form CaSO4 dot half H2O and 1.5 molecule of water is removed in the gaseous form. Next, plaster of Paris must be stored in moisture proof container because it readily absorbs water from water to form gypsum, a hard solid mass, rendering it useless for its intended purpose. So once if it will convert into gypsum, there is no use. Okay, it will become waste, plaster of Paris. Okay, now the next question. ये वाला हो चुका है हमारा. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है केमिकल नेम ऑफ कैल्शियम ऑक्सीक्लोराइड. क्वेश्चन कहाँ गया? ओके देखो नीचे और वाला जो क्वेश्चन है, ब्लीचिंग पाउडर इज येलोइश वाइट solid used for various purposes including disinfecting drinking water and as bleaching agent for the cotton and textile industry. It is produced by action of specific gas on dry slaked lime. Okay, when chlorine is added on dry slaked lime, CaOH whole twice plus Cl2, it will form CaOCl2. Write the chemical name and formula. कैल्शियम ऑक्सीक्लोराइड उसका केमिकल नेम हो गया, फॉर्मूला हो गया CaOCl2 ब्लीचिंग पाउडर का. और नेम द गैस यूज फॉर द, ओके So answers for that, chemical name is calcium oxychloride, CaOCl2. कैसे हम read कर रहे हैं? Calcium for Ca, O के लिए हो गया oxy, फिर Cl2 हो गया chloride. The gas used is chlorine. Equation हो गया उसका slaked lime, CaOH whole twice plus chlorine will form CaOCl2 plus water. ये जो हमारे 4 प्रिपरेशन है वो बहुत अच्छी तरह से पढ़ने हैं, ठीक है. कोई एक प्रिपरेशन तो पक्का आएगा ही आएगा एग्जाम में. चारों मैन्युफैक्चर जो भी मतलब प्रिपरेशंस है वो अच्छे से पढ़ लेना. जब हम ये ब्लीचिंग पाउडर को एयर में एक्सपोज करते हैं तो उसका क्लोरीन रिलीज हो जाता है, इसलिए वो हम लोगों को एक क्लोरीन का स्मेल देता है. कई बार तुम लोगों ने देखा होगा कि रोड वगैरह पे क्लोरीन वो लोग ब्लीचिंग पाउडर को स्प्रेड करके रखते हैं, तो वो जो ब्लीचिंग पाउडर वहाँ पे स्प्रेड किया जाता है वो ब्लीचिंग पाउडर हमको ब्लीचिंग स्मेल देता है. सो व्हाई इट इज गिविंग द ब्लीचिंग स्मेल? बिकॉज क्लोरीन इज गेटिंग रिलीज फ्रॉम देयर, ठीक है, एंड दैट क्लोरीन इज गिविंग सम स्मेल. सो अब यहाँ पे हमारा क्वेश्चन हुआ है, when exposed to air, bleaching powder react with the carbon dioxide present in atmosphere. This reaction liberates chlorine gas and the bleaching powder gets converted to calcium carbonate, CaCO3, losing its effectiveness as a bleaching or disinfecting agent over time. तो जब हमने ब्लीचिंग पाउडर को स्प्रेड कर दिया कहीं पे, करने के बाद कुछ समय के बाद वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से रिएक्ट कर लेता है एंड इट फॉर्म्स calcium carbonate, CaCO3. So as CaCO3 is formed now it is not having any effectiveness like bleaching powder. So no infecting nature will be there further. Okay, hope like you understood this question. Let's start with the next question. Soap are molecules that have two ends with different properties. This unique structure is key to their cleaning action. Okay, now the cleansing action of the soap, that is how the soaps react. It has got two ends. One is hydrocarbon tail and other is head. So what is the role of that head part and tail part? What are the two distinct parts of the soap molecules called? Describe their affinity towards water. So which one is water lover and which one is water hater? Hydrophobic and hydrophilic in nature, that all we need to explain along with the diagram and how this cleaning is taking place. So without reading now questions, we'll go through with the answer now directly. So this is also one of the important question. So this those who are attending can take the screenshot and can learn it properly. Okay, काफ़ी important question है, इसको भी एक बार अच्छी तरह से पढ़ लेना. बाद में हम ऊपर वाले क्वेश्चन पे जाते हैं, हाइड्रोकार्बन वाला है. So इस वाले क्वेश्चन का स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो ताकि तुम लोगों को लर्न करने में इजी पड़े. ओके, सो हियर पहला हो गया टू पार्ट्स. हाइड्रोफिलिक, हाइड्रोफिलिक मीन्स वाटर लवर, हेड पार्ट. दिस इज द ionic part, COO minus Na plus. So it is sodium salt or potassium salt. Okay, two kinds of salt can be there, either the sodium or potassium salt. फिर next हो गया, this is the ionic part of the molecule and is attracted to water. Hydrophobic, that is water hater, tail part. This is the long hydrocarbon chain and is repelled by water but attracted by the oil. So when soaps are applied, its hydrocarbon tail will go and attach to the grease or oil or the dirt which is present in the cloth. ठीक है, ये जो येलो कलर का दिया हुआ dirt और oil droplet, उसको जाके hydrocarbon tail ने attract कर लिया, whereas the head is in water part as it is water lover. So this structure is called micelles. So there is a formation of micelle and the diagram should show the spherical structure. So this diagram is showing a spherical cluster of the soap molecule where the hydrophobic tail point inward. So tail is pointing inward and head is outward towards water. So when the clothes are agitated, this tail will pull out oil from the dirt. As a result, cloth will become clean and water will become dirty. Hydrophobic tail of the soap molecule attach themselves to the oily dirt. The hydrophilic head remains on the outer surface facing the water. This forms a spherical structure called micelles with the oil trapped in the center. When cloth is agitated or rinsed, the micelle gets suspended in the water, are washed away carrying the dirt. So when they are agitated, they will drag out the dirt. Hydrocarbon tail will drag the dirt into water. As a result, water will become dirty and cloth will become clean. Next, in hard water, which contains calcium and magnesium salt. So this is also important question which we are getting repeatedly in the paper. Detergents are effective in having their cleaning action in hard water also. Okay, whereas the soaps, they cannot be used in hard water as they form salts or the precipitate with the hard water. So here, in hard water, it contains calcium and magnesium ion. Soap react with these ions to form an insoluble sticky precipitate. When soaps are applied, they forms insoluble sticky precipitate, which we call scum. This wastes the soap and hinders cleaning. So as a result, soaps get wasted and it will not give any effective cleaning. Detergents do not form such insoluble precipitate. Detergents are not forming insoluble precipitate, so they are effective in cleaning action. Okay, next one, saturated hydrocarbon. Okay, let's see the question here. Saturated hydrocarbon. So here the question was, hydrocarbons are classified as saturated or unsaturated and they undergo characteristic chemical reaction. Differentiate between saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbon. So how we can differentiate between saturated and unsaturated? Saturated hydrocarbon have single bond between carbon and carbon atom. So this many students make mistake. They forget to write carbon-carbon atom. Simply they write like there is single bond between carbon atoms. Okay, there is single bond and there is double and triple bond. Don't write simply single and double bond or triple bond. You need to mention carbon and carbon word. Okay, last time while I was correcting papers, like many students lost their marks because of that carbon. Okay, so here saturated compound, there is single bond between carbon and carbon atom. Unsaturated compound, there is double or triple bond between carbon and carbon atom. General formula of saturated compound, CN H2N plus 2. If it is unsaturated, for alkene, CnH2n. If it is alkyne, CnH2n minus 2. Most probably you are knowing. Give example, one example of each class. For a saturated one, methane. For unsaturated, if it is double bond, ethene. If it is triple bond, ethine. Double bond ends with ene, triple bond ends with yne. Now, what type of reaction convert vegetable oil? So, yesterday also I told like this equation is very important. So, whatever I am saying, have the habit of keeping notebook with you and note down those questions so that you can have a revision and you can score like very well. So, here reaction converts vegetable oil into solid fat, vanspati ghee. Name the catalyst used here. So, nickel is the catalyst which is used, and reaction where unsaturated hydrocarbon are getting converted into saturated, hydrogenation, when hydrogen is added to unsaturated compound. If to double bond or triple bond compound, we add hydrogen in presence of nickel, that hydrogen will go and remove the bonds present in them. So, we call there is a conversion of vegetable ghee. Write a balanced chemical equation showing the conversion of ethene, double bond compound, to ethane, that is hydrogenation. Same. Question number B, equation they are asking in 3C. Saturated hydrocarbon are highly unreactive but undergo substitution reaction. What is substitution reaction? Substitution means they will get substituted. They have given example like methane. When react with chlorine, it forms CH3Cl. That is, one of the hydrogen is replaced by one of the chlorine and HCl is formed. Give one reason why the reaction between the methane and chlorine. So, methane and chlorine is substitution reaction because one of the hydrogen is being substituted by chlorine. So, let's read answers for this. The first one, saturated compound. Saturated compound contains only single bond between carbon atoms. Example, ethane. and then unsaturated, they contains at least one double bond or triple bond between carbon atoms. Example, ethene or ethyne. Conversion reaction, here addition reaction, specifically hydrogenation. The catalyst commonly used is nickel, platinum or palladium. C2H4 in presence of hydrogen will convert into C2H6. Ethene will get converted to ethane in presence of nickel catalyst. Substitution reaction is a reaction in which one or more atoms in a molecule are replaced or substituted by another atom. As substitution word is there, so they get substituted by other. Okay, very good. Correct catalyst is given. Palladium or platinum or nickel. Nickel spelling, okay, नीचे सही लिख दिया. Then the answer we completed, okay, so I'm not reading that answer anymore. Next we started with physics here. First MCQ, section C. First question, student studying about the magnification produced by spherical mirror and makes the following statement. Magnification produced by convex mirror is always positive and less than 1. Magnification produced by concave mirror can be positive, negative or 1. Magnification of -2 means the image is real, inverted and twice the size of object. Okay. So here, which statement is correct? So I'll be giving little time to you. Make your choice so that we will see the answer. So what you are getting answer? Magnification produced by convex mirror. Always positive. Convex mirror, magnification is related to U and V. It's minus V by U. For case of convex, U is always negative, so you will get cancel. Option number C. Okay, let's check. Option C, 1, 2, 3 are correct statement you are saying. Huh? Very good. 1, 2, 3 are correct statement. Get in. A few minutes. Huh? Wait. Kaal ekkudundamma only. Go through with answer for a few minutes. Okay, students, again, I need to wind up my class as my regular class will start now. So 2 papers, like yesterday's papers also we left out with the physics part, and today also the physics part is left out. Okay, for a few minutes I'll read it. So hurry up. So let's complete it faster. Correct answer is 1, 2 and 3. Convex mirror forms virtual image, so the magnification is positive and diminished. Next one, concave mirror can form various images. It can be negative, and the negative magnification value always indicates a real and inverted image. Okay, negative means always it is real and inverted. So option number C. 31st question, during a laboratory experiment, a student observes that the path of the light through the rectangular glass slab is bent twice. Okay, why it is bending twice? Let's recall that rectangular glass slab. What is happening? Rectangular glass slab, light is entering from air to glass. So as the light is entering from air to glass, it will bend towards the normal, from rarer to denser. And the second case, again it is moving from denser to rarer, glass to air. So it will move away the normal. So twice bending is there. Light undergoes two refractions at the entry surface and at the exit surface. So option A is correct answer. Now 32 question, assertion reason. Okay, 31 we completed now. 32 assertion. A convex lens always produces real image of an object. Convex lens always produces. No. If you recall back, at one condition, there is a virtual and direct image when it is between pole and focus. Reason, convex lens undergoes parallel ray of light. Convex lens converges parallel ray of light. తర్వాత మాట్లాడనా ఒక 5 minutes క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను. Okay, next. A convex lens converges parallel ray of light to a single point, forming a real image. So all are converging and forming a real image. Reason is true, but A is false. Why A is false? Because in between poles and focus, there is virtual image. Okay, coming to the next question. 33. So here, at infinity, at focus image is formed. Explain what is meant by the principal focus of the concave mirror. So principal focus is a point where all the parallel rays will meet. Okay, parallel rays parallel to the principal axis will meet. Then next one, state the mathematical relationship between radius of curvature and focal length. R is equal to 2f. So I'm saying directly, answer R is 2f. Sometimes they can ask MCQ based on this. Then draw a ray diagram for the image formation when the object is placed at infinity. If the object is at infinity, image will form at focus. It's real inverted and highly diminished. So I'll come in 5 minutes. Huh? You can start yesterday's that explanation. Yesterday we explained that library one. Both of you start writing that. You start statistics. Now question number 34. 3 registers are there. 2 ohm. A, B and C are connected as shown in the figure. So you can see here B and C, they are in parallel combination. So how we will solve it? 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. That's 2 by 2. So answer is 1. And this first A1 and this combination both are in series now. Then the next question, each of them dissipates energy and can withstand a maximum power of 18 watt without melting. So power of 18 watt can be there. Find the maximum current that can flow through the 3 registers. So what is the maximum current? Now maximum current through the register A, it can be I is equal to under root P upon R. Do you know how we got this formula? Power is very important. So VI, I can be, V can be replaced with IR. So it's I square R. I square is P upon R. So I will be root over P upon R. Is it clear, those who are attending? Very good. Vivek, correct. P is equal to I square R. So I square will be P by R. So I is root over P by R. So placing all the values, and we got current as 3 ampere. And the second case, maximum current through register B. Register B, it's half, as the current is getting split into 2 parts. So it will be 1.5 to B and 1.5 to C. It's clear now. So shall I move to the next question? Okay, now the next question, 30, this was 34. So 35 question. Okay, a few more are there here. A wire is cut into 3 equal parts, then connected in parallel. How will the resistance? So 3 parts, R by 3, then they are connected into parallel. So 1 upon Rp is 1 upon R by 3 plus 1 upon R by 3 plus 1 upon R by 3. R by 3 will get reciprocal. So it will be 3 by R. 3 by R plus 3 by R plus 3 by R. So if we add 3 together, 9. 9 upon R. So Rp is reciprocal of 9 by r by 9. So those are attending, is it clear how we got this sum? Here we added as a single wire is divided into 3 parts. So it's r by 3 each. R by 3, R by 3, R by 3. We are adding them in reciprocal form. So 1 upon Rp is 1 upon R by 3 plus 1 upon R by 3 plus 1 upon R by 3. So again they are in denominator, so it will get reciprocal. So finally 3 by R. 3 by R plus 3 by R. Adding all the 3, so it's 9. 9 by R. So finally Rp. Final answer will get again reciprocal, R by 9. Now, will the resistivity get affected? No, resistivity does not get affected because resistivity is an intrinsic property. Intrinsic means internal, inbuilt property. Okay, every material has its constant resistivity, which never changes. Okay, now the next question, 35th. A person wear a spectacle of power minus 2.5. If the negative power is there, so he is wearing concave lens. Concave lens and name the defect of vision he is suffering from. So he is suffering from myopia and draw the diagram. So this also I told like 2 questions, sure questions for your board. रेजिस्टिविटी का फॉर्मूला, ओके रेजिस्टिविटी देखो तुमको उसका डेरिवेशन से बता रही हूँ तो अपने नोटबुक में लिख लो. ओके, R is proportional to L. R is inversely proportional to cross section area. So R proportional to L, R proportional to 1 by A. If we combine them, R proportional to L by A, R is equal to rho L by A. ठीक है, तो हमको रो फाइंड करना है, तो रो फाइंड करने के लिए क्रॉस मल्टीप्लिकेशन हो जाएगा. सो रो इज इक्वल टू आर ए बाई एल. रो इज रेजिस्टिविटी. विवेक, इज इट क्लियर? रो इज रेजिस्टिविटी, सो रो इज आर ए बाई एल. हाँ, रेजिस्टिविटी के सम्स मेरे को करवाने हैं, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग में नहीं हो रहा है. जब मैं नॉर्मल क्लास लूँगी तो रेजिस्टिविटी के थोड़े सम्स करवा दूँगी. एक तुमने रेजिस्टिविटी का करवाने बोला था मुझे, और रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स, वो 2 मुझे करवाने हैं. ओके, नेक्स्ट ये डिफेक्ट जो है ये तुमको प्रैक्टिस करना है, दोनों डिफेक्ट्स, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज टोल्ड. फिर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हो गया 2 रजिस्टर्स ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस 3 ओम एंड 6 ओम. विदाउट टॉकिंग ऑल ऑफ यू प्लीज स्टार्ट योर वर्क. Now here 3 ohm and 6 ohm respectively connected to battery 6 volt. What is the maximum resistance? If they will ask about maximum, we need to add the resistors in series. If it is minimum, we need to add them in parallel. तो maximum हमारा हो गया series R1 plus R2, तो 3 plus 6, 9. When it is minimum, 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 6. So it will be 3 by 6, 2. Parallel के लिए 2 होगा और series के लिए 9. Now maximum current. So maximum current will be in parallel condition. तो यहाँ पे हो गया maximum resistance of the resistor 9. करंट इन सीरीज I is V by R, तो V 6 वोल्ट गिवन है, तो 6 by 9, सो आंसर इज 0.67. फॉर पैरेलल कंडीशन रेजिस्टेंस हमको 2 मिला. ठीक है, 1 by R1 प्लस 1 by R2. तो पैरेलल में हमारा मैक्सिमम करंट होगा, तो V by R पैरेलल 6 by 2 3. ये याद रखने का है, जब पैरेलल कॉम्बिनेशन होता है तो करंट मैक्सिमम होता है, सीरीज में करंट मिनिमम होता है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन, అక్కర్లేదులే వచ్చేదా, ఇక్కడే ఉన్నాను. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, magnetic field lines are shown in the given diagram. So here solenoid is there and magnetic field lines are there. Explain with the reason if the student claim is correct. Okay, what he said, student makes a statement that magnetic field at point P inside the solenoid is stronger than Q outside the solenoid. Okay. So here, as the claim is correct, the magnetic field lines inside the current carrying solenoid is stronger. Okay. So here, always the magnetic field lines inside the solenoid will be stronger compared to outside. Next one. Uniform because the magnetic field lines are parallel, equidistant and close to each other outside the solenoid. And field is weak as the field lines are widely spread and not uniform. So outside they are widely spread, so they are weak, whereas the inside they are concentrated, so it is stronger. अभी नेक्स्ट वाला जो क्वेश्चन है उसमें उन्होंने डायग्राम दिया हुआ है एक मिरर का. विच लॉ ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन इज फॉलोड बाय द प्लेन मिरर. प्लेन मिरर क्या करता है, एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस और एंगल ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन इक्वल होता है, तो उसका लॉ क्या होता है, लॉ ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन, दैट इंसिडेंस एंगल इज ऑलवेज इक्वल टू एंगल ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन. नेक्स्ट, स्टेट टू यूजेस ऑफ पेरिस्कोप अपार्ट फ्रॉम सबमरीन. पेरिस्कोप का क्या यूज़ होता है, सोल्जर्स यूज़ करते हैं ड्रेंचेस वगैरह में वो रहकर अपने एनिमीज को देखने के लिए. So here two uses we need to write. Okay, a ray strikes the upper mirror at an angle 45. Draw the path. Questions इसमें दिया हुआ पेरिस्कोप वाला. ये एक आंसर पढ़ लेना तुम लोग, काफ़ी सिंपल सा है, सैम्पल पेपर का स्क्रीनशॉट लेके, कोई बहुत ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं है. देखो सोल्जर्स जो है वो टैंक ब्रांचेस के अंदर रहते हैं और वो लोग अपने एनिमीज को देखने के लिए यूज़ करते हैं. फिर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हो गया, हाउ विल यू रेफर विद द हेल्प ऑफ एन एक्सपेरिमेंट दैट सेम करंट फ्लोज थ्रू एवरी पार्ट ऑफ द रजिस्टर कंटेनिंग 3 रजिस्टर्स. तो ये सीरीज़ वाला एक्सपेरिमेंट करके दिखाना होगा. फिर स्टडी द फॉलोइंग सर्किट एंड फाइंड आउट करंट इन 12 वोल्ट रजिस्टर्स. ये एक बार इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वाले सम्स को देख लो, अगर लग रहा है कि करना है तो मैं लिख के करवाऊँ, क्योंकि बेटर देन ओरल अगर हम सम्स को लिख के करते हैं तो ज़्यादा अच्छे से समझ में आएगा. सो एक काम करती हूँ, जो कल का हमारा क्लास रहेगा, अगर होए तो हम लोग इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के सारे क्वेश्चंस को पहले सॉल्व कर ले विदाउट हैविंग स्क्रीन शेयरिंग. ठीक है, वो मैं करके दिखा दूँगी. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के जितने भी आ रहे हैं, करीबन हमारे पास 30 पेपर्स, अगर हम 15 क्वेश्चंस भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के कर लेते हैं तो इट्स मोर देन एनफ. ठीक है, तो कल के क्लास में हमारा वो रहेगा जब हम लोग इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के क्वेश्चंस करेंगे. चलो आज का क्लास मैं वाइंड अप कर रही हूँ, और जो लेट कमर्स हो थोड़े टाइम से अटेंड होना. ठीक है विवेक, कल के दिन अगर लेट हुआ ना तो फिर तुमको देखना. अच्छा, कंप्लीटिंग क्लास नाउ.